Okay, this is Brant from tradeguild.blogspot.com, and it is still Saturday, September 9th, 2006. And we're going to look at one more chart with the Snapsheets, and that is S, let me get the symbol up here, SLXA. And this is a position that I have been kind of blowing the horn on for quite some time now, probably back into June and July. What we see is this big symmetrical triangle, and in my opinion, that's functioning as a base. Let's zoom out here and see where we are. A lot of sideways action here, but notice what has changed here. Time segmented volume. Look at this huge leap above the zero line. Look at this huge leap in volume. So I don't normally like stocks that just kind of go sideways like this, even though that's a huge trading range from about 4 to 14, even 18 up here. But something has changed in SLXA into this big symmetrical triangle. I really like that. I think there's something interesting about that. If we take a look at our, and one last thing, I just want to say, I entered this position right here, and I put out a couple notes, and I said this is a great entry on that lower trend line that has been holding. And I also unloaded about half of that position up here because I expected it to fill out this apex. That means it needs to pull back one more time, which it has done, and I'm expecting to maybe see a doji or something down here in the days to come, which would say, okay, I'm going to go ahead and fill that position back out. And actually, I did add to that position, actually, now that I remember, on Friday. So I sold earlier in the week half of it, put the money elsewhere, and I bought back in, so made 60 cents on it, 6 or 7%. So anyway, let's take a look at the accumulation distribution indicators, and these are really, really beautiful for this chart. Let's zoom out. There's the big triangle, and what we have been seeing, time segmented volume has been very positive above this zero line the whole time. Even on these pullbacks, these dips, it stayed very positive. BOP is showing a lot of buying into the pattern. So you see the buying occurs in here, it drives price up, and they kind of wait a little bit, some profit taking occurs, and then they buy again down here. So that looks to me a lot like systematic accumulation, and those are the areas I want to buy. So I bought over in here. If we also look at money stream, look what's happening with this. I mean, let's zoom out and just get a perspective on it. Look at the highs that this thing is creating. I mean, we have seen price back here in the 30s, and money stream wasn't that high. So here it is in the 840 region, and money stream is in a huge leading divergence. So it's a very, very interesting position. I love this, and I'm pretty much at a full position as far as my risk management goes, but I may consider even adding more to this position. In June, July, we saw BOP, money stream, and TSV all climb up. So there's a BOP, here's the bump in TSV and money stream. So that's an interesting little area. We're going to keep an eye on that. Let's take a look real quick at the Snapsheets and see what we see on the fundamental data feed. One thing I see that's very interesting, in orange down here, the latest short interest ratio is up here around 15, 16 days to cover. So that's a huge short interest position that's in place there, which will eventually, I think, be squeezed, and that'll be to our benefit. Let me zoom out a little bit, and you can see what's happening here. We had a period of decline and distribution back in late 05 or July, August, September, and the institutional position was down here around 16% at the beginning of the year, and subsequently we've seen this steady climb up to I don't know, what is that, maybe 40-50%, something like that. So there was also a bump. Let's see if I can make this window a bit bigger. See this little bump? I keep losing it, but there's that little bump right in this area from about 46 to 50 that occurred in September or August. So I think maybe what we saw was some buying in this area over here. All in all, that's a big institutional position, and it's a position that they've been building this entire year. You can see it right here. So they have tripled that position, and the short position is pretty high. And let's just take a look at what insiders are doing here. There's been some insider selling. We're down from 12% down to maybe 4. I don't know what that means. It's not something I like to see. But with this institutional position just building, I don't think they're swing trading this stock. I think they're getting in place for a big move like we saw in HH. We saw a little bit of that in Intel. So all in all, SLXA, there's still some time to get into that position. Just look real quick, just keep an eye on, let me make this a little bit bigger, institutional holdings here in the beginning of the year. Look at the ascent in institutional holdings, and then look at money stream over here. Look at the ascent at the same time period. I mean, this really tells you these indicators work. They're tracking systematic accumulation, and these institutions, while they're putting in place thick positions, don't want to drive price up. So they're being sneaky about it. They don't want to drive the price up and have to buy at higher prices. But these indicators have picked up on what they are doing. So that's one of the real values, I think, in Warden's Telechart and Snapsheets that you get for free. Real quick, I am going to, I'm finished with the stocks. I'm just going to show you a couple things. I don't have a lot loaded on this Snapsheet, but I have price history up here. I have the indicators that we were looking at. Here, if I want to see, let me get rid of some of these. I'll just tab them, and if I want to pull them up again, they're on tabs over here on the side. And let's take a look at a couple other things that we have that I like to look at once in a while. Here is sales in millions. You can see we've had a plunge really in sales from millions, from 7 million down to 4 million. So there may be an expectation of future earnings here that the institutions are getting in place for. I don't really know. I'm not an expert with that kind of stuff. But here is SLA's rank among their industry group. So that's kind of an interesting thing. And we have lots of different ways we can look at those indicators. Here's relative strength for it. And let's see what else I have tabbed here. Just give me a moment as I'm browsing down. It's kind of hard to see all these on such a small screen. Here's the new time segmented volume that responds much quicker on Snapsheets than it does on Telechart, but still both are very, very nice. One of the really cool things is this Warden Stochastics, and here it is here. I'm just going to make that window bigger. You can set your own overbought, oversold levels. Here's overbought, here's oversold, so you can adjust it to the particular stock and how that stock trades. That's a really cool thing that you don't get on Telechart, but is available to you on Snapsheets. And also, any of these indicators can be easily manipulated and changed. And I'm going to try to pull up a block. I don't know if I can get one up that you can see. Well, I'm having a little difficulty with that, but basically, here's a block. You're not going to be able to see the whole thing, but I'm going to get as much as I can on this screen. Okay, so basically what happens here is you just take these and connect these however you want to connect them. I can connect this block to something else over here, like a moving average or whatever, and it makes programming this really, once you get the basics down, it makes it programming just really simple. You can program your own indicators, your own watch lists. So if you're looking for a stock charting program that allows you to write your own indicators, you can already do that with Telechart, but Snapsheets really opens up the possibilities for that. So that's it for this video. Thanks for watching. I hope it wasn't too long-winded or too boring. I know it's very difficult to see all these indicators on such a small scale, but trust me, this is a really great program to have. So if you want to sign up, we have the free 30-day trial. If you link from our website, we're an affiliate, so we'll get credit. It doesn't cost you anything extra. Or just tell them that you heard from tradeguild.blogspot.com. Thanks very much. If you have questions, feel free to email me or reach me on the tag board. Thanks a lot. Have a great weekend.